The number one pound for pound fighter in the world, Kamaru Usman, returns this weekend at UFC 278 for a rematch with number 2 ranked welterweight Leon Edwards. These two are unbeaten in their last 25 fights combined. What's up, fight fans? Welcome to the UFC 278 betting preview show powered by Superbook Sports. I'm Ron Kruck. Thrilled to be joined by a man who knows all about getting it done in the UFC welterweight division. Number 4 ranked and title challenger, Gilbert Burns. Gilbert, welcome in, my man.
Thank you. My pleasure to be here with you guys.
Thank you. We are so excited to hear from you because you have firsthand experience, Gilbert, being in that octagon with Usman. It was back at UFC 258 in February of last year. Now, he got the win that night, but Gil, you had him hurt and in a lot of trouble. Looking back at that fight, what did you take away from that experience?
I take away a lot of things. First, I was very emotional, because firstly, I knew Kamaru. We trained together. We have a whole history, and then facing him whenever he moved out of the team was very tough. Firstly, because I know him, I have a little feelings for the guy. We used to train together.
Correct.
Training partner years. Another thing, one of my number one coach, Henry Hoof, he wasn't in my corner because he know both guys. He should train both guys. Those two things it kind of took me off a little bit, but then I start off very good.
Yeah, you did.
A little bit overconfident, and then I think just those two things, fighting, emotional and overconfident is not a good thing, and then everything start kind of getting out of line, and then he, as a good champion, he adjusted even though he was hurt, and then he did a very good job. So I think after this fight, every time that I go there, I try to never be overconfident again, and I try to fight out of emotion, never fighting emotion, always fighting being smart. For sure I work super hard, but then I gotta work hard and be smart. It cannot be just out of my emotion.
Well, it was a hell of a fight. I know fans can't wait to see you two run it back very soon. Let's talk about the UFC 278 main event. Both fighters are riding crazy win streaks. Usman has reeled off 19 straight. Edwards has definitely earned this title shot by winning 9 in a row. And guess who just happened to beat Edwards before this win streak started? That's right, Kamaru Usman back in December of 2015. Current odds from Superbook.com have the champion Usman as a big -370 favorite. That's up from -330. The comeback on the challenger Edwards is +310, moving up from 275. Gilbert, who do you think gets their hand raised, and how do they do it?
I think Kamaru does, but in a very hard fight. I think as they know each other super well, they feel each other. They both got a lot better after that fight. Kamaru with a lot of more experience in the difference that people don't realize. I'm used to fight 3-5 rounds, no problem. But sometimes that pressure, that main event pressure, is not on top of me every single time. But that pressure is on Kamaru every single time, and he's done very good with that. It's going to be the first time that we see Leon Edwards on a big main event, with a lot of true. Kamaru is used to that feeling. And I think Leon is very smart. He has a very good team. He's going to bring it. I think he's going to be very well prepared, going to put a lot of pressure. But even though if he get 1 or 2 rounds beating Kamaru in the first and in the second round, I do think Kamaru will be able to adjust. And if he have he's gonna find a way, grind his way out of the victory. Maybe in an ugly way, maybe not the most entertaining way, but I think he can do it. And I think that's the way I see the fight going. Leon with a good, getting done the first round with a good win, controlling the distance, defending the takedown. Second round, too, maybe hurt Kamaru a little bit in the second round, but I think Kamaru becomes the Nigerian Nightmare in the third round, looking for his wrestling start, putting his opponent against the cage, dragging and grinding on the takedown, when he starts finding the way and then controlling ground and pound, doing the same thing in the third, fourth, and fifth round, and end up with the win. That's the way I see the fight going. But like I said, I think it's going to be very close fight, probably a unanimous to a split decision to Kamaru Usman. That's the way I see the fight going.
Gilbert Burns coming up big. Great insight, my man. For me, the first fight is almost ancient history. I mean, both of these guys have evolved their skills since that initial matchup 7 years ago. But this stat stuck out to me. Usman outstruck Edwards in that first fight 126-36 on his way to that unanimous decision victory. But I think Edwards could be the best striker Usman's faced in a long time. I'm expecting Usman to rely on his wrestling in this one. Another big factor for me coming into this one is Usman's legacies on the line. A win would be his 16th consecutive UFC victory, tying Anderson Silva for the record. It would also be his 6th successful title defense. Too much on the line for Usman to stumble. I think he plays it smart and he grinds out a decision victory. Once again, Superbook.com is offering a UFC knockout special. Sign up at Superbook today. Place a wager of $78 or greater on the welterweight title fight between Usman and Edwards, and you will score a $10 bonus voucher for every knockout, TKO, and DQ that goes down on the entire card, and that's the preliminary action included. This is the time to get to Superbook.com, sign up, and download the app. The UFC 278 co-main event features the return of former middleweight champion Luke Rockhold coming back after a 3-year absence. He'll finally throw down with former title challenger Paulo Costa after his matchup. This matchup was canceled and postponed several times. Rockhold has only fought 4 times since 2016, going 1-3. Meanwhile, Costa started his career a perfect 13-0, but he has lost 2 in a row, including a TKO loss to champion Israel Adesanya. Current odds from Superbook.com have Costa as a over 3-1 odds favorite, and the former title challenger and holder Rockwell is a plus 270 dog. Gilbert, there's a lot of unpredictability going into this co-main event between Rockhold and Costa. How do you see this one playing out, and who gets the win?
This one is very tough for me, especially because 2 factors. I'm a Brazilian, and I always try to ride with my Brazilian guys. Paulo Costa is not one of those. He's the one that you don't get along too much. He's just too crazy on social media. Talk shit about me, talk shit about Oliveira,
exactly.
about
everybody.
Crazy. On the other side, I like Luke very much. We've been teammates for a long time already. We fought on the same card multiple times. We trained together. I was there in California with him. I was in Florida with him. So I do want Luke Rockhold to get the win, but I don't like the matchup for him. I think Costa is powerful, with good hooks, good boxing, like to fight a danger fight on the inside. I think the key is to Luke to win. Luke got to keep a good distance, play very long with him, throw a lot of kicks, and try to get the fight to the ground. If he does that, he's going to win. But on the other hand, Costa is very powerful. He's going to walk forward. He's going to march forward. I want Luke Rockhold to win. If I gotta put money, if I gotta bet, I'll bet in Costa. Costa will get it done. I hope not. I hope I'm wrong. But I think Costa get it done.
Yeah, these are always the tough ones when you either train with someone or know someone, but you got to look at the odds makers too and where you're going to put your money. For me, so many questions coming into this co-main event. Rockhold, the former champ, he's 37 years old, hasn't fought in 3 years. He'll have to shake off that ring rust real quickly. But this could be the healthiest he's been ever coming into a fight with the rest. On the other side of the octagon, Costa, I mean, just to be honest, has been kind of a disaster lately. He's lost 2 straight. He's had to pull out of a couple fights. He missed weight badly for another. So that 13-0 start seems a long time ago. But if he's physically and mentally ready, he should roll in this one. He is the number 6 ranked middleweight right now. Good boxer, crazy power, always a challenge to get to the ground. So I think Costa rebounds and gets a much needed victory. I'm going to take Costa in this one. Get in on all the action at UFC 278 by signing up at superbook.com, downloading the app, and jumping in on the Superbook UFC 278 knockout special. Wager $78 or more on the title fight between Usman and Edwards. You'll score a $10 voucher for every knockout, TKO, and DQ that goes down during the entire card. That includes the preliminary fights, and trust me, there will be some knockouts. UFC 278 is the final pay-per-view of an extremely busy summer for the promotion. Gilbert Burns, give us one more fight on this card that you're excited to see, and give us a winner as well.
Yeah, another fight's going to be, I'll be there, right? I'm going there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Cornering one of my teammates, for sure. I'm going to help out Luke. I'm going to help out Jared Gordon. It's a tough fight too. Jared Gordon is facing another friend of mine, Leo Santos. Jared is my training partner. That fight's going to be very, very tough. How's the odds on this fight? You know the odds on Leonardo Santos against Jared Gordon?
Right now, according to superbook.com, Gordon is the favorite, Gilbert, at minus 275. Comeback on Santos is plus 235.
Wow, that's a tough one because Leo Santos is multiple times jiu-jitsu world champion. But on the same side, he's a 41 years old, and both guys coming from a loss. If I'm not wrong, they lost to the same opponent. They both coming from a loss from the same guy. And, yeah, it is another tough one. I love Leo. He's a friend of mine. He used to be a hero from my from jiu-jitsu. And Jerry Gordon is a friend of mine right now, actually a current teammate, who's another one. But I'm going to be there looking – I'm going to be cornering Ange Lusa when he fight Fletcher. He's a very good guy, training Dustin Poirier, came from the Contender Series, a tough one. We work super hard with Ange. Ange is a good prospect from Stanford MMA. I hope he does good. I think Ange is going to get a win. I think it's going to be – both guys look for the finish. I think that fight is very underrated on this card. But I think
Agreed.
Has potential to be a fight of the night, a bang. And so I look for a couple more fights. I look to Ange Lusa to get a win. I look to Jared Gordon get a win. And last but not least, Jose Aldo Jr., the King of Rio.
The King of Rio's back.
Aldo needs to get the win. I think he will get the win. And more than that, I think he's going to get a win. And I think he's going to get a title shot January 21st in Rio. And let's see if I'm beat on that card.
Yeah, there's the tease right there. You just might be joining him in Rio on that card. That would be fantastic. Gilbert Burns throwing out picks all over the place today. I love it. And your man, Lusa, if he does get the win, he would pull off the upset. He comes in at plus 130. My UFC 278 fight to watch, I'm going to go with the opening bout between Victor Altamirano and Daniel Da Silva. These two kick off all the action. Both men are looking for their first victory inside the octagon. I like the former LFA flyweight champion Altamirano to use his striking, use his karate background, and I think he'll get the win. He's never lost back-to-back fights before. He comes in as the favorite, minus 175, plus 155 for Da Silva. I'll take Altamirano to get the W. Great stuff. Gilbert Burns came in prepared, throwing bets around, throwing picks, dropped some serious knowledge today, man. We appreciate it. Before I let you go, you teased it a little bit, but fight fans want to know, when will you return to the octagon? Could it be that January card in Brazil?
Could. I mean, I love to fight. It could be early too. UFC kind of talk about it. They offered me the fight with George to November 12th, MSG, but he had a little procedure on his wrist. I think he just had a small surgery on his wrist. He's not going to be ready for November, but we're waiting. You know, the fight is almost a done deal. We just kind of figuring out the date. They said December or January, so it can be December 10th in Vegas or January 21st in Rio. I'm just waiting, but either way, I'm as game has come. You know, so in Rio will be amazing. Have my parents in there.
Oh yeah.
I'm working super hard to get my parents' visa. The visa got denied. They declined my parents' visa. We're working again. If I fight in Rio, you know, my parents will be there to watch. It will be amazing. But if we fight in Vegas, it's amazing too. My kids will be going. My wife is going. So either way, we'll see.
Nice.
You know, December works. January works. I just want to get back in there, you know.
I know fans are excited to see you back in there. Final question. If the matchup is between you and Masvidal, why should fight fans get to superbook.com and bet on Gilbert Burns?
Because that one is going to be crazy, you know. He's coming from a loss. I come from a loss. That say it all, you know. Both guys are hungry. I want to get that title shot. I'm on my way to becoming champion. You know, I did everything I supposed to win sport. I beat former champions. I beat title contenders. I was the one that hurt the champion, and I want to get the title shot again. So anyone that they put in front of me, I'm looking for the finish. And it's always going to be, they know the dangers are coming on the floor, on the hands, on the feet. So anyone they put in front of me, I'm looking for a finish. And Masvidal, I think, it's the same. You know, he comes from 3 losses, 2 from Kamaru,
Right.
from Kobe. Like, no disrespect. He just lost for 2 tough, very tough guys in the division. So I think he's coming for redemption. You know, he needs to get a win. So do I. So it's gonna be a crazy one, and I'm looking forward so much for this one. Just waiting for the date.
Can't wait. Gilbert Burns, thank you so much for the time today. Have a great time at UFC 278. I know you're going to be a busy man cornering a lot of your guys, but we appreciate you taking a moment today.
My guy, take it easy.
That's going to wrap up the Superbook Sports UFC 278 preview show. Get to superbook.com, sign up, download the app, and get in on all the UFC 278 action. For Gilbert Burns, our producer, Mike Rigg, I'm Ron Kruck. Enjoy the fights, everyone.